Hi everyone, welcome to GTCoding. In this video, we're going to create the homepage of a website. So let me just show you a demo of the website. So here we have the banner of the website and the name of the company. And when we scroll down, we can see that it changes the background color. And if we go down here, we can see we have the social media icons, and then we have different sections for different features. And at last, here we have the footer. And if we go to the mobile version of this website, this is the mobile version of the home page, and here we can see we have an icon for the menu, and when we click on that, we get this full screen menu, and when we click on it again, it disappears. And if we go down here, we can see our social media icons, and down here we have a different layout for our sections, and at last we have the footer. So let's get started. Now here I have created a folder called Soundo, and in that we have a folder called img, and I have all the images in here, and we are going to be using these images in our homepage. And then we have three different files: index.html, style.css, and main.js. So first of all, let's start by creating the markup of our website. I'm using the code editor called VS Code, and it has Emmet installed in it. So if you type exclamation and press tab, we get this basic markup for HTML5, and we'll just change the title to Soundo. Now we are going to be using two Google fonts and some font awesome icons. So let's go to our browser, and here we'll go to Google Fonts website, and we'll search for the fonts that we want. So one of the fonts is called Railway, and here we'll go ahead and select the extra bold version, and then we'll click on this plus icon, and we'll also need one more font called Robotos Lab, and we'll click on this plus icon. Now here we have the two fonts. We'll just copy this link and paste it in our HTML. Now we need to also copy and paste our Font Awesome CDN. So we'll go to the fontawesome.com website, and we'll click on Start Using Free, and just click on this icon to copy this line of code, and we'll paste it in our index.html file. Now that's it for the head section of our website. Now we'll go to the body, and here we'll create a new division called Container. And in that we'll create a nav element, and we'll have some list items, and we'll have some menus over here. So we'll just copy this line of code, and we'll change this to downloads, blog, and about. Now the next thing is the logo. So we'll go outside our nav element, and here we'll create a division called logo, and we'll insert our image over here. So we'll type the img element, and here we will give the path of the image. So that's it for the logo. Now we'll create the icon for our mobile navigation. So we'll create a division with the class name of menu btn, and here we will just type plus. Now we'll create the header, and here we will have an h1, and we'll type the name of the company. Now we'll create the social media icons section. So we'll create a section, and we'll give it a class name of section follow, and here we will have an s3 with a class name of follow me, and we will type follow us on, and here we'll create one more division called social media. Now here we will insert the font awesome icons. For that you have to type I and the class name of the icon. So we will type FAB and FA Facebook. I'll just copy this for the other icons, and we'll change this to Twitter Square, and this to Instagram, and we'll change this to Spotify. So that's it for the social media section. Now we'll create the different sections for the different services of our company. So If you go down here, these are the different services. So we'll create these sections. So we'll type section, and we'll create a division with a class of description. We'll have an S3, and we'll type music programming, and then we'll have some lorem ipsum text. And now we need to have the image, so we'll create another division with a class name of image, and here we will link the image. So we'll type img programming. So that's it for the section. We'll just copy this 2 more times, and we'll change the title and the images. We'll change this to vocals recording, and we'll change the image to vocals, and we'll change this to mixing and mastering, and we'll also change the image. That's it for our sections. Now we'll create the footer. So we'll create a footer element, and here we will type sound ampersand copy for the copyright symbol, and we will type 2019 over here. And here, before the body ends, we will link our script in our HTML. So we'll type script src, and here we'll give the link of the script file. So it is in our root folder, so we'll just type the name of the file, and here we also need to include the style file. So we'll type link style.css. So that's basically it for the markup of our homepage. So let's see how it looks on our browser. So this is our complete homepage without any styling applied. Now we'll go ahead and start styling our page. So we'll go to the style.css file, and here we'll start styling. First of all, we'll write some reset styles. So we'll set the padding to 0 and the margin to 0. And we'll also set the box sizing to border box. Now if you take a look at our website, we can see that all the padding and the margin is removed from our website. Now the first thing we'll do is increase the line height of this paragraph. So we'll type P, and we'll set the line height to 2. So here we can see we have the line height of the paragraph. Now the first thing we'll do is style the logo. So here we'll type logo. We'll set the Z index to 20 so that it is above everything, and we'll set the position to fixed, and we'll also set a margin of 4 pixels. Now we will style the img inside our logo. We will set the height to 66 pixels and a transition of 0.4 seconds. Now we'll style the navigation menu. First of all, we'll target the nav element, and we'll set the Z index to 10. We'll set the padding to 24 pixels and 16 pixels. We'll set the font family to railway, and we'll set the position to fixed. We'll set the width to 100% and set the transition to 0.6 seconds. Now we'll target the ULs inside our nav element. We'll set the display to flex. We'll set the justify content to flex end, and we'll set the list style to none. So here are our menus. Now we'll target the anchor tags inside the UL. We'll set the text decoration to none. We'll set the color to 474747. We'll set the margin to 0.32 pixels. We'll set the font size to 14 pixels and text transform to uppercase. So here are our menus. Now the next thing we will do is style the header. So we'll give a comment called header, and we'll target the header element. We'll set the height to 100 viewport height, display to flex, align items to the center, justify content to the center. We'll set a background image, and so we will type background URL, and here we'll give you the link of our image, and we'll set the background repeat to no repeat, and the background size to cover. So here is our background image. Now we'll target this H1, so we'll type header H1. We'll set the font family to railway, text transform to uppercase, color of FFF, and font size of 120 pixels. So here is our H1. Now we'll remove this menu button from here so that we don't have this white space over here. So we'll type menu btn, and we'll set the display to none. So here we have our header and the logo and the menu bar. Now we'll style the sections down here. Here we will type section, and we'll set the height to 400 pixels and the display to flex. Now we'll add a specific styling for our section follow. So we'll type section follow, and we'll set the height to 160 pixels, align items to the center, justify content to the center, and flex direction to column. So this is our follow section. Now we'll style the social media division that we had created over here. We'll set the font size to 32 pixels. Now we need to have a line in between this heading and the icons. So if you go to the design, we can see that we have this line over here. So we'll go to our CSS, and here we will type section follow me, and after, and here we have to have a property called content. So we'll just type content, and we'll set it to blank, and we'll set the position to absolute, and we'll set the left to 0 and the right to 0. We'll set the width to 150 pixels, the height to 44 pixels, margin of 0 auto, and we'll set the border bottom to 1 pixels solid 92992. So here is our line, but we need to add some more styles to make it look better. So first of all, we will style the section S3, and we'll give it a font family of railway, font size of 32 pixels, and a padding of 16 pixels and 0. So here we can see our S3. Now we need to apply some styles to these icons as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll target all the I tags, and we will type transition of 0.4 seconds, padding of 0.8 pixels, cursor to pointer, and we'll also style the hover. We'll set the scale to 1.3. Now we'll take a look at the section. So here we have the social media icons. Alright, so now we'll style the other sections. So if we go to the original website, here we can see we have the image on the left side, and in the next section we have the image on the right side. So we have these alternate positions. So we're going to do that using CSS. So we'll go to our CSS, and here we will target the alternate sections. So we'll type section nth child, and here we will type 2n. And to switch the positions, we have to type flex direction, and we have to set it to row reverse, and we'll also set the background to 0f141a, and we'll also set the color of the text to white. Now if you take a look at the home page, we can see we have the image on the left side over here, and here we have it on the right side, and here we have the image on the left side. Now here we will set the font of the paragraphs inside the section to Roboto Slab. Now we'll apply some common styles to the description and the image of the section. Here first of all we'll set the display to flex and the flex direction to column. Then we will set the flex to 1 so that both the description and the image will have the same width, and we will set the padding to 32 pixels and justify content to the center. Now we'll reduce the height of this image, so here we will type section image img, and we'll set the height to 340 pixels. So here is our section, and here are the images and the description. Now we'll apply some style to the image division. So we'll go down here, and here we will type section, and we'll type image, and we'll set the border radius to 160 pixels, and set the overflow to hidden, and set a transition of 1 second. Now we'll style the hover. So here we will type section image hover, and we'll change the scale of the image. So we'll type transform scale, and we'll set it to 1.04. So here we can see the image is getting bigger when we hover over it. Now the last thing we need to do is style the footer. So we'll go to our CSS, and here we will type footer, and we'll set a padding of 32 pixels and 0, background color of black, the color of the text to light gray, font family of railway, and text aligned to the center. So here is our footer. Alright, now we have pretty much completed the design for our desktop version. The only thing remaining is that when we scroll down, we need to have a white background for our navigation menu. If you go to the original design, here if you scroll down, we can see that we have this white background. We will do that using JavaScript. Now before that, we will style the mobile version. Now when we are below 900 pixels of width, we want to display the mobile version. So we'll go to our style.css, and we will add some media queries. So we will type add media max width of 900 pixels, and we will write all the styling inside here. So first of all, we will reduce the size of this h1. So we will type header h1 font size to 72 pixels. Now we will style the nav menu. So we will type nav, and we'll set it to display flex, height of 100 viewport height. Then we'll give it a background color of RGBA 255, 255, 255, and 0.8. And we'll also give it a transition of 0.4 seconds. Now we'll style the UL. We'll give it a margin of 0 auto to set it to the center, and then we'll type align items to the center so that everything will be centered vertically. Then we'll type flex direction to column, and then we'll also type justify content to the center. Now we'll style the LIs, so we'll type nav ulli, and we will give it a padding of 42 pixels and 0. Now we'll style the anchor tags. We'll give it a font size of 20 pixels and position to relative. Now we need to have an underline for all these anchor tags. So if you go over here, we can see that we have this underline, but it does not have the full width of the word. So for that we have to give the underline in a different manner. So we will use the after selector. So we'll type nav lia after, and here we will type content to blank, and then we'll set the position to absolute, left to 0 and right to 0, height of 24 pixels and a width of 60%. We'll set it to margin 0 auto so that it will be in the center, and then we will type border bottom 1 pixels solid black. So here are the underlines for our anchor tag. Now we'll start styling the other sections of our home page. So first of all, we need to hide this nav menu. So what we'll do is we will set a scale y and a translate y to a specific value. So we will type transform, and then we will type scale y, and we'll set it to 0, and translate y, and we will set it to 1200 pixels. So now it is gone. Now when we click on the icon over here, we want it to be displayed. So we will do that later in JavaScript. Now we'll start styling the follow us section. So here we will type a comment. We'll type section follow me after, and we'll set the width to 120 pixels and the height to 36 pixels. So here we can see we have changed the width of our underline. Now we'll style all the sections in general. First of all, we will style the H3 inside the section, and we will change the font size to 24 pixels. And now we want these sections to have a vertical layout. So we will type section flex direction to column. So here we can see we have the flex direction applied to this section. For the other sections, we have to type section nth child to n and type flex direction column. Now we'll add some more styles over here to the section. We'll set the height to auto and text align to the center. Now we'll style the image. So we'll type section image img. We'll set the margin to 0 auto, width of 95% and the height of auto. So here are our sections. Now the last thing we need to do is style the menu icon. So we'll type menu icon, and we'll type menu button, and we'll set the Z index to 10. We'll set the color to 474747. We'll set the display to block and the position to fixed. Set the right to 16 pixels and the top to 16 pixels. We'll set a font size of 64 pixels, transition of 0.4 seconds. We'll also set the font family to Roboto Slab and the cursor to pointer. Now when we click on this icon, we need to rotate this icon. So here we will type transform rotate, and we'll type 0° over here. Now when we click on this icon, we want to set the rotation value to 45 degrees. So that's it for the CSS. Now we need to add some more classes in our CSS, but we will do that when we write our main.js file. So we'll go to the main.js file, and here we will first of all target some of our elements. So we'll type const menu btn, and we'll type document.querySelector, and inside that we will type menu btn. Now we'll create another constant called nav, and we will type document.querySelector nav. Now we'll create one more constant called logo image, document.querySelector logo img. So that's it for the constants. Now we'll add an event listener to the menu button. So we'll type menu btn add event listener, and we'll type click over here, and we need to write a function. So we'll type function. So here we can write our function. So we'll type menu btn dot class list dot toggle, and we'll create a class in our CSS called active, and now dot class list dot toggle, and we will type active here as well. So these are the two classes that we need to create in our CSS, and when you click on this menu button, we need to add these classes to these elements. So let's go to our CSS, and we'll go to the nav, and here we'll create a class called nav.active, and remember that you don't put any space in between these, because we need to have both these classes. Now here we need to change the transform values, so we'll just copy this from here and we'll paste it over here, and we'll set the scale y to 1 and translate y to 0 pixels. Now if we click on this plus icon, we can see that we get this menu, and when we click on it again, it goes back. Now we need to add one more class to our menu button, so that when we click on it, it rotates. So down here we'll type menu btn dot active, and here we will type transform rotate, and we'll set the rotation to 45 degrees. Now let's check whether this works. So if we click on this menu button, we see that we get this menu, and we also have this rotation, and we click on it again, it goes back to the normal rotation. So that's it for the mobile version. Now the last thing we need to do is, when we are on a desktop version and when we scroll down, we want to have this white background color over here, and we also want to change the size of the logo. So let's go to our main.js file, and here we will add an event listener to the window element. So we'll type add event listener, and we will search for the scroll event, and when the page scrolls, we want to execute this function. Now we need to add a class to our nav element when we scroll. So here we will check for the page y offset. So we will type window.page y offset, and we can check for the amount of scroll that we have on our page. So when we are above 4 pixels from top, we want to add this class. So we will type nav.classlist.add, and we'll create a class called scrolled in our CSS, or else we want to remove the class. So that's it for the JavaScript. Now we'll go to our CSS and we'll create the class. So we'll go up over here, and below the nav, here we'll create the class. So we'll type nav.scrolled, and make sure that you don't have any space in between. So we will type background, and we'll set it to white, and we'll also have a box shadow. Now we also need to decrease the size of the logo when we scroll up. So we will type nav scrolled plus logo img, and we'll set the height to 60 pixels. Now we'll go ahead and check whether it works. So here is our website, and if we scroll down, we can see that we get this white background color, and we also have the size of the logo changing. So that's basically it for this homepage. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below, and if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.